you come on the radio 22 hours after a game is over and still have a very difficult time putting together what the hell we just saw. And here we are, 22 hours after a top 5, top 10 epic meltdown by the New York Football Giants, and it is still very difficult to understand what the hell happened. Tiki Barber, what the hell happened?
I mean, a lot happened, Evan. Most of it for 3 quarters was very good. But in the most critical moment of this game, and we all remember it was 3rd and 5, and the Giants had just run the ball twice, and they needed to not turn the ball over. And they did exactly that. So much happened after that, by the way. I mean, it's crazy. It was like a different game story after that turnover. And all the things that followed were dramatic and awesome. And your emotions went high, then they went low. But it all comes back to that one moment. And I think this Giants team can compete with anybody in the NFL. You give me the best team, I don't care who it is. Whether that was the Chargers at the time, the Eagles at the time, you throw them up against whoever. Who is the best team in the NFC right now? I don't even know.
The Lions?
Lions? Throw them against the Lions. I think they'd play a competitive game against the Detroit Lions. You throw them against the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they would play a competitive game against the Kansas City Chiefs with this Jaxson Dart era. But there's something about this team that is frustrating because they are so good, yet they don't know how to win. And part of that is players, right? We'll talk about, the Shane Bowen decision on first down when the Denver Broncos are desperate. We'll talk about, what do you do on the goal line after the pass interference play. But there are moments in games where the decision makes a difference and then the execution makes a difference. And on 3rd and 5, I felt that the only thing the Giants needed to do was run the ball again and force the Denver Broncos to use their 3rd and last timeout because they had to score twice, not once. They had to score 2 more times in order to best the New York Giants. And if you punt, they have no timeouts. They got to drive the length of the field, something they haven't done consistency for the entire game. Your defense now has the advantage, and the Denver Broncos have pressure as soon as you decide to throw the ball. And I don't know whose decision that was. I don't know if it was Dave's or Kafka's or if it was Jaxson Dart saying, let me throw it. I got it. Now, I'm a rookie, but you guys believe in me. I'll make the play. And sure, I know Shaun and I were getting into a fight last night because he's saying Jaxson Dart has earned the trust to throw that play. No, he hasn't.
Rookies are dumb.
Thank you, Tiki.
That's when we know this game has turned us all crazy.
Yeah. All you needed to do on that drive was not turn the ball over. So instead of having to drive the length of the field and try to score to make it now a 1-score game, they had to drive 40 yards to score and put the pressure, which was, I just told you, was on the Denver Broncos. It is now on a rookie quarterback to have to put a drive together. And guess what happened on that drive? They went 3 and out. And the next thing you know, the Denver Broncos have control. They go and score and take the lead for the first time. So this was a failure on so many levels. A failure from a coaching perspective and a player perspective, an execution perspective. And when you give up 33 points in the 4th quarter, I don't care how good you are. You don't deserve to win, period.
There are games, and I think I thought this at 19-0, and I certainly thought it at 26-8, and I thought it while watching Patriots-Falcons the Super Bowl when it was 28-3, where in order for this game to turn, it's not one thing, it's a list of things.
Of course it was, but it started
100%.
It started with the interception.
I agree with you that
play clean. That's all you got to do. Play clean.
The number one thing that switched the faucet in this game was not being smart and running on 3rd and 5.
Yes.
For a minute, you laid it out, and I couldn't agree with you more. Force Sean Payton to use his 3rd timeout. Also, ensure you're not turning the ball over. And make the Denver Broncos have to go 40 or 50 yards further down the field than what happened on the interception. So I agree. If I'm power ranking all the different crap things that happened.
Yeah, and we'll get to all of them.
But that's the key. You need all of those things to happen to lose a game like this.
And the first thing you needed to go wrong was to turn the ball over on 3rd and 5. And Look, I love this rookie class. I love the last two classes for the New York Giants. They're fantastic. I give Joe Schoen a ton of credit because who doesn't love Jaxson Dart and his swag and his chain gold necklace and his ability to just be a baller? Who doesn't love Cam Skattebo, who is brilliant as hell as a runner and just vicious and aggressive and a playmaker? But when you make that decision on that third down, and you know what's going to happen with a Vance Joseph defense. If you didn't, and I know that fans haven't watched Vance Joseph, the all 22s or defenses. They don't know what I'm talking about. But when you get in that critical moment, Vance Joseph is going to get medieval on your ass.
Yeah.
He's going to throw some stuff at you that you're just like, all right, what am I looking at? All right, there's 7 guys up here. What do I do? And the play call was okay. You're going to get cover 0. You're going to get man everywhere. The play call was actually okay. The Giants had 7 to block 7. But you remember what I said before about rookies rookieing?
Yes, rookies rookie.
Yeah. So guess what happened? The double mug in the middle of the field, Cam Skattebo got trucked.
Yes, he did.
Trucked.
Got thrown to the ground.
And by the way, that happens. That happened to me all the time because I was a little running back. And if I got trucked, you're coming with me. I'm holding you. I'm like tackling you because you're not getting to my quarterback. So Cam Skattebo gets trucked. Jaxson Dart tries to escape forward like he's supposed to. He gets tripped up by Cam Skattebo.
But at that point, he's got to go down.
He should have just went down.
Take the sack.
But you know why he didn't?
Why?
Because he's a rookie.
I hate rookies.
He didn't realize that, you know what, a sack is just as good as an incompletion here or anything. Actually, it's probably the best thing
it is
that could have
because
happened.
You're doing 2 really important things in terms of winning this game. Number one, you're letting the New Orleans, I'm thinking of Sean Payton.
Yeah,
you're letting the Denver Broncos use their third timeout.
You're forcing them. You're forcing them to use their third timeout.
Absolutely. And Payton already showed you he was going to use his 3 timeouts because he already used the first 2 on first and second down.
100%.
So clearly he's going to use it. So number one, his timeouts are now gone, which he's going to need because remember, since you have a multi-possession lead, you're getting the ball back again.
Right.
He ain't going to be able to stop the clock. And then number 2, you ensure that the disaster doesn't happen.
Right. If you want to throw it again, because Bob Papa said this on the broadcast, and as soon as he said it, I said, he's wrong. He said, that 3rd and 5 that we've been referring to, where Jaxson Dart threw the interception, he said, this is the most important third down of the game. And it wasn't. That is not the most important third down because that possession, now this is hard to think about as I'm saying this because it meant so much in this game. That possession did not matter to the New York Giants. It was an extra toss-off possession. The only thing you're using that possession for is to use 3 of Denver Broncos.
That's the key.
That's the only thing you needed to do.
Yes.
You didn't need to get the first down. The only thing you needed to do was make the Denver Broncos use their third timeout, which you didn't do. So the interception happens. The Denver Broncos go down as predictable. They go and score. They get another 2-point conversion. And then the Giants get the ball back. So all that pressure that was on the Denver Broncos is now on the Giants. So when it was third down the next time, right?
Yeah.
The Giants are only up by however many points they were up by 4. Yeah, they're up by 4 points at that point.
At this point, it is 26-23.
3. So they're up by 3 points.
Yep.
That third down was the most important third down of the game. Because if you get that third down, you extend your drive and you make it almost so much harder for the Denver Broncos to go do what they ultimately did, which is get a punt, go down the field, score the go-ahead touchdown. So the Giants put themselves in position to have stress down the stretch. And that's on them. That's on the coaching staff. It's on the players, and it's on everybody in this that kind of, I don't know, bowed out at the wrong time or stopped playing elite football at the wrong time because they did everything right up until those moments.
Now, watching that third down play, which obviously turned into a catastrophe, I could tell you in the moment, I thought exactly like you, which is run the ball. Make them use their third timeout, ensure that there is no disaster, punt the ball back to Denver, and you still mathematically feel pretty freaking good about winning this game. Mr. Talking Giants back there, Shaun Morash, was fighting with you about, Jaxson Dart's got to do it. He's earned the right. He's this and that.
He was arguing about a lot of things, all of which didn't matter. Yes, the kicker mattered.
Well, we'll get to all of those things. I
all
promise
of those
you.
things matter.
Because to lose a game like this, trust me, there's 100 different things that end up happening, and they're worthy of talking. But I agree that this is the number one thing. It has now been 22 hours.
Yeah.
And the beauty is, and I love the format we're in. We come on Sports Talk Radio a day later, more time to think about it. When Tiki's doing the post-game show, he is raw and emotional. When you're doing Talking Giants or One Giant Step, you're raw and you're emotional.
Yeah.
So now that you've had 22 hours to think about it and learn at the knee of a future Hall of Famer in Tiki Barber, do you now agree that this was a major screw-up throwing on third down?
I don't agree with that.
But come on.
No. Hold on. I agree that in hindsight, you know what, running the ball was well. I don't think it's a major screw-up because a completion there effectively ends the game. That's where I lose the shape major. My issue was...
There's still 4 minutes to go, dude.
So it's nearly 5, which is still an eternity. And the only thing I disagree on is I don't think that if you punt the ball there, suddenly that means you're going to absolutely have to have an onside kick. I do think Denver would have been able to get the ball down quicker. It felt like quicksand at that point for the defense. What the reason is, the two D-backs
but they haven't done it. I know what you're saying. You're going because of a Debo's injury and Javon Holland.
The format of what the defense had played had completely changed when those two guys came out of the game. And frankly, and this is on Brian Daboll because he hired the guy, we've learned I wasn't trusting Shane Bowen in that spot without those guys to get it done. Deonte Banks and Drew Phillips are walking penalties with balls over their head. And I just viewed that game and viewed the way that team was playing or the way the Giants are playing offensively and said, and I'm ahead of myself. I get it. It came back to bite me in the ass. I trust giving Jaxson Dart a look there.
But he's a rookie.
And he is a rookie. But worst case, which wasn't the worst case, I thought he throws it incomplete. All right, they live with one timeout. You punt anyway. He did the one thing that couldn't happen.
Right.
He threw a pick, and it came back to bite him.
Right.
So I do
So my point is, as a good coach, and in order to be a good coach, you have to have winning pedigree, a winning culture. It's not there. And there are many reasons why. I know we won Coach of the Year in 2022, but for the last 2 years, they are not a winning organization. And so the reason you don't throw the ball there is because you haven't earned the right to do that. You haven't earned the right to be aggressive. Now, if you've done it multiple times and it's worked and you win games and you get to the postseason, you're doing X, Y, Z, Dan Campbell going for it on fourth down for no damn reason, right? You trust Dan Campbell to do it. Why? Because it works for Dan Campbell. I didn't trust the moment. And so you have to default to what you're supposed to do. And what you're supposed to do is run the clock so that they are forced to use all 3 of their timeouts. Because I can't express to you how game-changing emotionally it is to happen. What happened to the New York Giants, how lifting it is for the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos were dead in the water. They were dead. At home, dead. The fans were gone. They were leaving the arena, right? And
they were.
We, the Giants, gave them life.
Yeah.
See, we gave them life. They were dead and buried. And all of a sudden, we Frankenstein their asses. And that drives me insane. And it didn't need to happen because you put the ball, and I know you say he's earned the right to have the trust to make that throw. He's a rookie.
Rookies are dumb.
You gave them back to life, and that kills me because the Giants are good enough to win these games. They're good enough to beat almost any team, but they can't screw it up. And they're at the point now where I don't trust them not screwing it up.
How can you not? The track record's already there. They've screwed up a lot more than they've stolen wins.
Yes.
We've seen too much of this.
Right.
And
in 2022,
yeah,
they stole a bunch of wins.
But you know what? 2022 was an eternity ago.
I agree, and it's a completely different team.
It's a completely different team, and honestly, it's a long-ass time ago.
I was actually going to bring up 2022.
Don't bring it up anymore.
No. But
seriously, here's why you can't bring it up anymore. You know how many seasons we've now had?
I know. But hear me out. I promise, hear me out. And by the way, I don't disagree with anything Tiki's actually saying. I'm just looking at it from the point of view where I was at in real time, okay? In 2022, Brian Daboll left his mark with that team on opening day by going for 2 with the Titan game.
I agree with it.
And I know an eternity has passed. Man, this kid has been playing great, played well above all of our expectations yesterday. If he freaking completes the pass and doesn't throw a pick, What are we talking about today?
No, because
Man, Brian Daboll did it again and figured it out.
Sean,
he took a gamble and it backfired.
Believe it or not, I disagree with Tiki only because I'd be even more extreme. And what I mean by that is I get it about Jaxson Dart. I get it about being a rookie. Even if I had Patrick Mahomes, I want to win the freaking game.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
And winning matters.
Winning matters.
I know a lot of people are saying it doesn't matter. They're not making the postseason.
Oh, that's BS.
But you know what? At 3-4, they would be in the conversation. And forget 3-4. If they were 4-0 in the Jaxson Dart era, as they should be.
They should be.
Then they are certainly in the conversation.
Nobody.
And then there's a whole other conversation, which we'll have later, which is why in the hell did they not have an actual quarterback competition in training camp? Why? Forget Russell Wilson. Forget what you think prescribed to do. The history of football tells you that the best player has to play. Have a real competition. Forget, we got to protect the young kid. You don't need to protect the young kid anymore. These kids come into the NFL ready to play. And if they suck, they suck. You get rid of them in 2 years, or you trade them, or whatever you do with Justin Fields. Right? But the New York Giants don't have that kid. And it was obvious from the second week of training camp. Why did we have to toil with Russell Wilson for 2 weeks? I'm serious. Like now that the way that they lost that game made me think about what happened before, and I'm like, now I'm even more pissed. I'm being honest.
Could beat Washington with him from week 1.
100%. Tommy, you were dead right. I hate to admit that because I thought you were a ludicrous idiot for suggesting it, but you were so right. I feel bad that I mocked you for so many weeks.
Nah, it's okay, Tiki. It made for entertaining radio. It was
Dude,
good.
I got to get down and bow down to you. You're like my savant god at this point. Because I believe in Jaxson Dart. I just also believe that he's a rookie. And sometimes rookies make stupid mistakes at the most inopportune times and cause you to lose games. The one thing I worried about going into this game, and it didn't really show its head until the end, was that the altitude in Mile High Stadium, in Power Field, Mile High Stadium, is rough. It gets you, man. And I think Dexter Lawrence said this after the game in his post-game comments, how you get used to getting them 3 and out, or maybe they'd run 4 or 5 plays, 3 to 5 plays, and then you're off the field. Then all of a sudden, the Denver Broncos have some drives.
Yeah. Now you're on the field for a while.
And it's like 10-play drives, 11-play drives, and you are gassed. And at the end of the game, there were a couple of plays. One of them or actually both of them were Drew Phillips. When Evan Ingram caught that ball on the sideline and he just dodged a tackle and went like an extra 12, 15 yards, it's like, what the hell happened there?
He like deked him almost. He gave up on the play.
Drew Phillips turned it down.
Yeah.
Drew Phillips you know what?
Tiki's standing up right now. Is he going to grab me? I'm afraid. No, he's walking past me. He's grabbing an L.
Oh, he's grabbing L's.
3 L's. He's holding them. He's sitting back down.
We haven't ever done this. But I'm doing this today because this needs to happen. This is not really, you don't actually physically have to wear this.
Yeah.
But Drew Phillips, you're getting an L today, dude. You're getting an L. You're taking the virtual L because you turned down a hit on Evan Ingram. Push him out of bounds. Instead, you 2-hand touch. We're not playing powder puff. And then on the 29-yard catch, on the desperation drive of the Denver Broncos after you've miraculously taken the lead back because of a pass interference and an awesome Jaxson Dart touchdown, the Denver Broncos have 2 desperate plays that they have to throw. That's the only way they're getting in field goal range. The only way. They run a 2-man with 2 robbers, and all you got to do is be on your game. Drew Phillips basically was jogging with Mims, basically jogging.
Yeah.
And Bo Nix threw that ball. Mims didn't see it coming until it was in his hands. And Drew Phillips was chilling. And I don't mean like he was tight coverage and it just happened to not make a play. He was chilling. Like we're out here practicing.
Give him a second L while you're at it, Tiki.
This ball is not coming to my guy.
Yeah.
I am chilling. And he completes it. And that changed immediately the game. You knew it was over at that point, right? You don't know when your moment's going to come. You don't know as a player when you're going to get a chance to be the hero. That's why every play matters. But you know what happens? You get tired. And when you're in Denver altitude, you get really fatigued. You almost can't breathe. Your muscles stop working. Fatigue makes a coward out of even the greatest men. And he turned it down. He turned it off, and it cost the Giants the game. So we're going to start giving L's to our teammates, to our teams.
Yeah.
L's for plays that cost you games. This L is on Drew Phillips.
Just take the L. Well, I have to apologize to you as well, because late last night, me and my wife were having a conversation, and she said, "What do you think about tomorrow's show?" I said, "It'll be all right, but Tiki used all his energy on Sunday. He'll come in, he'll understand, he'll be like, it happens."
You have no idea. I'm not even joking. I was basically doing meditative breathing exercises before we took the post game because I wanted to scream through the microphone to the Giants in their locker room. Bunch of bitches.
Well, do you want to share what you said to me in our group text last night when I was arguing with you?
Yeah. I was projecting it onto you.
Bleep you, dude.
We'll get to your calls next. 888-808-1019. Plus, when you have a collapse like this, it's many different things.